All right, I think that is it, folks. Can I get a confirmation?
We're live.
We're live. Okay, there it is. Thanks, everybody. Welcome. Uh, CRM of Choice Day. A lot of interesting and exciting things happening for all you agents. My name is Brett Kay. I'm a senior product trainer with Inside Real Estate. We're here to talk about the BoldTrail platform. This session is recorded. I know that EXP will make this available to you to review. This is actually a training, folks, and it's going to be led by me, and we have some specific content I want to get into. At this point, we've done a why should I choose BoldTrail? All right, I think that is. We've had a getting started. Okay, we've had these both at least a couple times. So today what we're doing, we're calling this next level training, and we're going to build upon what you've learned. I know that we're coming up towards the end of the month to make a decision on what, product you should use. Let me get the KV Core thing out of the way. At this point, you all should have transitioned to and be on the BoldTrail platform. If you were using KV Core already, think of it as the evolution, the next evolution. KV Core to BoldTrail, right? So if you were using that, the only one thing that you have to do is re-download the mobile apps. Other than that, all the same. Just faster, smarter, easier to use. So if we build on that, like you've heard some arguments and strategies for why you should choose this over something else, and that's a choice every one of you will need to make. This is not a session to say, compared to your choices, we do this and they do that and vice versa. We're going to focus on these items here today. We're going to talk about how to create your own template with a plural, be it email or text, because at this point, you've downloaded the mobile apps. You've imported your leads. That's what we talked about in our getting started message or our session, right? So now what? And that's what we're answering. Now what? We're also going to talk about this super sweet, we call it, think of it as a real estate playbook for your listings. You have a listing? Outstanding. We can help you promote that in a few clicks. You don't have to actually learn how to do anything. I mean, we'd sure hope and pray that you do. And then we'll talk about some best practices along the way. So if you're all ready, when we think about the templates, it's like the emails and the texts that you write again and again and again. How about just create one and reuse it? I can reuse that. Hey, it's nice to meet you. Number one email, or the follow-up after we just got the listing, or the thing was sold, or all those communications that you reuse. Why not create a text and or an email template for it? And guess what? You got some AI baked in to help you write it if you want. So I'd ask you to think about, when we're writing engagement communication, and again, for everyone that jumped into this, maybe this is your first time here and you're like, what in the world is happening? I would encourage you to go back and watch the Getting Started, because now we're building on that. This is next level training, what we're doing today. So we're going to continue to move these around, and we'll probably have another, why should I choose BoldTrail? I know we will, actually, and another Getting Started. Today we're at the next level. So this is for those folks that are ready to, I got my people in. Now what do I do with this system? So if you're on the sidelines and you're looking at this and you're like, I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, think about that strategy. Whatever you decide to do, I would encourage you to still use these thoughts. Okay, if you're writing your own emails and texts and you're not having AI write it for you, here's some ideas for you. Something to grab their attention. A follow-up on something you sent. The shorter, the better. We all know this. No one wants to read a book anymore. Our attention span, it seems nowadays, is so short. Well, we're going to have to, build on that and just keep it. They don't want to read a book. Make it simple, and that really helps you define what you're actually asking. Keep every communication attempt, and this applies not just for BoldTrail folks, but for anything in our real estate profession, when we're driving them or we're reaching out to somebody, why we need to drive them to the website. Just being honest here. We got to get them there. That's how it all works for your CRM. Okay, so think these things in mind. The more open you can make it, that's not a yes or no question. Hey, what if I ask you today, please let me know if there's something I can help with in any of your real estate needs. Well, what if they don't need that today? They may tomorrow. That's why we're going to continue to nurture them and stay in contact with them. If that's the case, then that's the case. We meet our people where they're at. Right time, right message. Okay, so some ideas to think about. And if you want, screenshot this. Okay, but you'll have the recording as well. And make sure that you always have a reason for them to go to your website. When you're using a CRM like the BoldTrail platform, everything is connected. Your website is connected to your MLS. All these things, like the newest listings, here's a blog I just wrote. You can create your own guides. It's super easy to do. We have lots of tools to help you do that. Build on categories. Okay, but you got to get them back there. Give them a reason. Or you know what they're going to do? Here at Inside Real Estate, our new mantra, if you will, is stop their search. Stop their search on whatever it is else that they're looking on. I would like to say a colleague of mine, Delaney, is helping me out in the chat to answer questions. I'd appreciate you to be nice to her, and she's doing the best she can. So I just wanted to say that we're not ignoring anything. We're all doing the best we can to keep you all questions answered. So what can we do? I can text, I can call, I can email. I can mass email. Folks, there's new laws out there. The TCPA regulations, you cannot mass text. And now I transitioned to text. I'm not saying email, text. Unless they've opted in. What does that mean? Opted in means they're either signed up on your website to or are receiving property search alerts, from you, or they respond to one of your messages via text. They just opted in and said, yeah, it's cool. Now you can contact me. Emailing different. I can mass email whether I know you or not, or you've agreed or not, but just keep that in mind so you have the right expectation. That doesn't mean that you can't individually text 1,000 people. I just can't text 1,000 people at once. And if they'd all opted in, of course you can. Does that make sense when we talk about opt-in? They're either getting property alerts from your website in BoldTrail, and or they've responded to some message. Okay? And we're going to actually get in here in live drive. I'm giving us, hopefully setting the stage for what we're about to do so it all makes sense on, what we're talking about. So emailing your contacts, you have a lot more options. I can schedule emails to go out into the future. We have holiday emails. You can tweak any of our existing holiday email templates, make them your own. How about, 4th of July? Maybe we'll take a look at that near the end, depending on how much time we have. But my point is, it's really easy. You got to stay top of mind. You got to give them a reason to go to your website. So whatever you decide to do, this is one of the easiest, most effective ways that you can do that. And I'd encourage you to give people a reason to go there. Okay. When we talk about templates, now I'm giving you the now what. I got my people in, now what? Send them a template. Something you built. I'll give you some ideas. And that's where Smart Assistant's going to come in, friends. That is the AI baked into the platform. I hear it said. Consider this your Chat GPT for BoldTrail. I can create my own call scripts, email scripts, text scripts. Okay, not sure what to say. We have a few that are built in that you can just use and modify for your own. You can create one from scratch. You can use Smart Assistant. Then the second half, what I'm going to focus on, and you're going to love this. This is for all my agents that took the time here today or listening to this recording and say, you know what? I don't have time to learn all this stuff. That's your playbooks. It's like a sports play. It's built for real estate. There's 7 stages in there. You can decide which one to use or not to use. You can get there from the main dashboard when you first log in. You can always use the Omni search, which we've highlighted up here top left. to search for anything in the platform. It's one of my favorite new features when you think about, for my KV Core users out there that are now on BoldTrail, this Omni search, or new users, you can search for anything. So I'm looking for contacts. I'm looking for a listing. I want to see my vitals. Where's my website? Where was that smart campaign he said? Type for it up top, and you'll find all the options you have. Now, when we get into promote a listing, when you have a new listing, this is automated for you. And kind of the thought is here, you have 7 plays. You can choose which or which not to use. If you don't have a listing, you could still use this tool. It's included. It doesn't cost anything. For office listings, your office that you're a part of, get permission, and you can use this tool. Promote it to social media and create a text code. Give your seller, if it's your listing, in this example, a seller report of how many views there's been on their property. But if it's yours, it's automatic to do. You know, I'm confident that in the upcoming weeks that we'll have the opportunity to work together for some lead gen type strategies. This is one of them, but in Playbooks, it automates things that you can do infinitely, like landing pages, squeeze pages, text codes. You can build all these things, you know, as much as you want. But I'm telling you, for the Playbook, for your listing, it's done for you. So we're going to talk about that. Okay. It's really cool. And these are the kind of as an overview, the 7 plays that you have and what you can do. You know, if it's your listing, I can notify my agents. If I have people, listen to this, if I have people in my system that I'm currently sending property search alerts to my website, in the price and area of my listing, it'll automatically pull, and I can, there's already an email and a text written that I can send out to those people. Right? You'll get a text code automatically made. If you have about $60, you can boost the property to get a nice return on some lead gen. That's a little cost one. That's why we put the little $sign in there, just saying. But, you know, and then we show you, hey, here's some just 1-click type, 2-click type, post to your Facebook, post to your Twitter X, post to your, what's the other one, Pinterest, LinkedIn. And then if I have my client and this was my listing, I'll send them a weekly report. I automate the whole thing. And then any leads that I receive through these efforts, I can put them on a drip follow-up campaign. I have a ton, I have an entire library default in the system. So let's look at how to do all this stuff. And my thanks to you for all your patience, for questions and whatnot. Let's get in here and let's actually look at this. Taking a breather here for folks. I don't want to move too fast. So I've set the stage. We're talking about email templates, text templates, heck, even call templates. Then we're going to take a look at playbooks. But the idea here is, remember, just a quick refresher, to import leads, we go to the lead engine on the left, lower left, that menu, or I could just type import. Show me how to import leads. Type import and see what happens. Oh, there it is. That was what we talked about in getting started. Get all your leads in. Make sure they're properly categorized. And that was our focus. Once they're in, now the question is, now what? I have a new listing. Now what? So if I go to my contacts in the upper left, or I type in contacts up top, this is my CRM. These are where my people are. That means if you imported your lead, they're all going to be here. If I look to the top, I see, okay, this is showing me 1 to 10 of 1,100-ish leads. I can see as I look through the columns, okay, new lead buyer, active buyer, prospect buyer, etc., right? Those are categories we talked about. Now what? Well, one of the first things I could do if I want to reach out to someone individually, I would just click on that contact record. As we learned about last time, we explored the contact record. We created a test contact together. So we learned about this. Over here on the right are all my actions. Make a note, send an email, text, call, etc. Put on a property search alert. I'm on the right-hand side. Here's my drip campaigns. Oh, here's an area market report. Oh, you know, depending, you may or may not have the present tool, CMA tool, but you have lots of options here. Now, what I'd like to point out to you is if I wanted to send an email to this person and I said, okay, boldest agent, let's send an email. I mean, I can just write one on the fly, right? But we're talking about templates here. And I want to also bring your attention to the Smart Assistant that you have as well. But just look around for a minute. You know, it's as you'd expect, right? Bold, italic, indent. I can add a link. There's a source code button. I have merge tags. I could put in something like hello, merge tag, lead, first name. And then it pulls the lead first name, you know. Put in, you know, your call to action and post. So that's option one. We didn't create that template. We just wrote it on the fly. I could have the system write it for me, use the Smart Assistant up here, up right. That Smart Assistant, everyone see that? So I just pulled up email and I said, okay, let's use Smart Assistant. Maybe I've never met you before and I want to send a welcome email message. Well, let's see what that looks like. Oh, what do you know? I made it for me. Hello, lead, first name. Hope this message finds you well. I'll let you, read on. You get the idea. It's a pretty decent, well-written email. It has a link to your website. Has your name. If you need to tweak it, you can tweak it and send it. So what we're going to do is we're going to save a template. Oh, but wait, there's another one I want to show you. Because if you just imported your leads, we want to let them know who you are, why they should care, and to get to your website. So if I was going to send an email, we have something called templates. So if I just selected, again, that to send email to an individual contact, it's right there, right in my face, send email, right-hand side. And then I came up here to the upper right. I saw the Smart Assistant. That's what we just did. You can write your own prompts if you want to customize it. We even had an advanced editor if you're so inclined. You can drag and drop stuff and build pretty fancy emails. This is just a basic first email text type basic email template. But if, for example, in this template field that I was clicked the drop down, well, what is all this stuff? I'm scrolling for days, and you will. I'm not kidding. All these different templates. What are these? Well, our smart drip campaigns have emails and texts. We wrote a bunch for you. They've been tested and vetted. They all live in here in the templates. We're going to go build our own, but we have some that are already there for you. Like, for example, holiday. What do you get? What do you have? Oh, I didn't do that one right. Sorry. Let me try it one more time. Whoopsie daisy. That's the advanced one, just the sneak peek. But if I said, okay, show me my holidays, and maybe I wanted to see the, I don't know. There's one I built for 4th of July last year, but let's just say, here's one of our blank ones, the Halloween one, right? These are all templates. We're going to go build our own. You can take any of these and change them, modify them, customize them, reuse them, schedule them to go out to the future. The one I would recommend to you all to also look at it back in that template is just type import. And it's easy to remember because if you just imported your leads, type in import, and guess what? We have a default email already built for you. So you don't have to think about it. I mean, the Smart Assistant will write it for you with the AI. This template was already written for you. It'll pull their lead's first name. Are you looking to buy or sell? Here's my website, your signature, done, send. Now I can take that same concept back to the contact section and do this 250 people at a time. You know what I mean? Because I can mass email. So that means that I can go, boom, email, template, import, select, send. That's how long it would take you. I could do the same thing for the Smart Assistant, send a welcome email message, have it write it for me, review it, and send it up 250 people per page. I can even schedule an email to go out into the future to my entire database if I want. Now for texting, as I mentioned, all these things that I've been telling you are the same in the sense that you have Smart Assistant. There are templates, we call them canned responses for texting, but the concept's the same. But as I mentioned, unless all of these people have opted in to either they've responded to one of your messages or they signed up on your website or you're sending them property search alerts, I can't do it all in mass. But if these all were, I could, go for the mass text and do the same exact thing. It'll let you know up top if you can't. It'll say, nah, you can't do that. Those people haven't opted in. But I could, again, Defaults for the Smart Assistant, I could say, send a welcome text message, have it write it, and see what comes up. You can promote a listing this way with the MLS ID. It'll just write it for you. Send a check-in message. And down here below, you also have that Smart Assistant, the canned response. So we even have one for importing for texting. Hey, I sent you an email about cleaning up my database. Wanted to check in, see if you're, looking for anything, need anything. If I wanted to share a property, I could just start typing in the MLS ID. See if any come up. There's one, and then that would put a link in here. Make it real easy for texting. But just to remind everyone for the proper expectation, that's not us or EXP, that's your government, and it's the TCPA law, right? The new one that has about texting. But that doesn't mean I couldn't individually text every single one of these people if I wanted to try to get them to opt in, which you should. So there's texting, there's emailing. Let's go build our own template. Now that we've seen some use cases for how to do this, I can do it in mass. I can do it individually. I can do it in mass email, no problemo. But again, texting, they have to have opted in. So just keep that in mind in terms of your strategy for follow-up. I would definitely suggest hitting them up with an email first. And you can use that mass email tool just like that. Again, I could write it on my own. I could use one of our templates. We're going to go build our own. And then you could use that one or use the Smart Assistant, which is the AI, the Chat GPT-ish, I'm allowed to say. But it's, BoldTrail's version. You know what I mean? Hopefully everybody's with me. I'm kind of keeping glance over here, and I see that you're blowing up my colleague over here. I appreciate your patience trying to answer all your questions. Let's do this. So where we're looking to go now is marketing. Why marketing? Marketing here on the left, or use that Super Omni search up top, marketing. You could just go straight for the smart campaigns, which is where we're headed, but I'm going to make you familiar with the marketing tab, the marketing section, okay? Now, there may be some things you do or don't have depending on how long you've been with us and options and all these things, but the thing that you absolutely will have is smart campaigns. That's where all our drips live. Drip campaigns, emails, texts, call reminders for you, task reminders for you. Let's get in there. Let's manage campaigns. Now, this session is not today intended to teach you how to use these campaigns. If that's something you want, let us know. And that's something that we'll do. But for now, we're talking about the templates. So think of any of these campaigns, whether it be for a buyer or it's for a seller, it's from a homeowner, it's for a renter, it's for a client, etc. Buyer, seller, buyer, seller. All those campaigns have messages, texts, and emails that were built for you. Those are all templates. That's where we're headed, to let you know not only are all these in there, which you could take, clone, edit, customize, make your own, or write your own. Okay, like for this one, I just popped into, what is this, the default seller. If I wanted to see the email that gets sent out on day one, I can view that. Hello, lead, first name. It's definitely still a seller's market, blah, 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 right? Not blah, 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 but you get my point. Okay, nice looking written email. If you wanted to change it, you could. This lives in our template library. That's where we're going. So I'm going to back up one, back to my smart campaigns, and I draw your attention to the upper left. So where am I again? Marketing, smart campaigns, here I am. These three tabs that I'm bouncing over, you will always default for all the campaigns you currently have. You'll see it's showing me 1 to 10 of 52 total campaigns. Do you need 52 campaigns? No, you do not. I mean, it's unlikely. The system library, as I tab over one more, that's going to show me everything that exists that I can take and add to my own. And yes, you can edit all these. You can make them your own. You can use them as is. You can choose not to use them. If I tab one more over, that's where templates, that's where all the emails, all the texts, all the call reminders, all the task reminders live. You'll notice here over on the left under templates, now that I'm in templates, I have email, text, call, task. It looks to me like what? Here's 1 to 10, showing me 1 to 10 email templates of over 827. Now, I probably have more than you because I train on this a fair amount. But you can make a copy of anything and make it your own. So for example, if I just typed in here, and remember I used that one import as an example in the keyword search field under the email template option. If I typed import and hit enter, mine probably has a bunch more, but you'll at least have this one, the imported leads default email. Just wanted to check in. So if you want to see, well, what's going on with that? That's the email template I showed you. You can go in here and clone it. It's already written for you, and you could change it. So let's say you didn't like the first sentence, and you want to add something here, right? You want to change the subject line. The way you'll find it is the name of the template. What is it called? The imported leads default email template. If I wanted to call this Brett's, that's me, import first email, then that's how I'd find it. You can call it whatever you want. So think about a naming convention that's easy for you to find. So if I typed in my name, then this would be one of the one that comes up. Now I will give you some caution here. Be careful with that one, because I've done a lot like that, and then you'll have to scroll. But maybe I just say import first email. Maybe I say exp, or get me? That's how you find it. Subject line, here's the content. And I'll just do this one just so we can find it. 623.25. So you all see what I'm doing here. I'm going to clone the template. Now I just created that template. I can use it all over the platform, and I never have to write it again. All right. So then I could go back, pardon me, to my contacts. Hit quick refresh. Right. And now I want to email that exact one I just wrote to everyone, 250. Go to email, go to templates, right? Type in my name. See if I can find it. You can see I have quite a bit, but you get the idea here because I put that date in there. You remember what I'm saying? You get the idea. I'm not, there it is, right? Send. I could do the same thing on an individual. I just want to send this guy an email. I don't want to write it. Send email. Go to template. Type in whatever I called it. And fire it out. You see how easy that would be? And you can even include one of these folks into a smart drip campaign. Maybe you don't like what we send on day number 7. And you want this to go out on day number 7. Well, you could take one of ours, change it, and replace it. Just remember what you called it. That's the hardest part. It's just remembering what you called it. And I would repeat that if I wanted to create my own text. I'd come back over here to my templates. This time I'd go over to text messages, and maybe I wanted to find, there it is, the imported leads default text. If I cloned it, if I wanted to see what you wrote, okay. I could, it doesn't have a subject line like emails, but I could rename it, rename it. You see what I mean? And I could come in here and make the changes I want to make, and then I could send that now, and I don't have to rebuild it. Now, you might be asking, well, wait a minute. For those of you that might be paying attention, what if I'm building it from scratch? Can I use that smart assistant? Well, yes and no. It's still there. If I'm writing an email and I said, okay, I just went to a contact record and I said, smart assistant, send me a welcome email message. Let's see what you wrote. Okay, there it is. Then I go back over to my templates and I wanted to create one from scratch. Notice this upper right, add template. And I wanted to create my own email template or text template. There's nothing there. You see why it's much easier to use one of our existing emails or texts and just change it for your purposes instead of having to start from scratch? Because you see that lead first name or whatever, you don't have to replace that. It'll pull the lead's first name. I mean, I could build this and say, hello, merge tag, lead, first name, comma, my call to action. Thanks, Brett. And then you have an option at the bottom to include the signature that you set up per our getting started one about setting up your profile and downloading the mobile apps, right? You give it a subject. You give it a name, my template name. you know, whatever you decide to call it that you'll be have to remember, right? Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And boom, you save it, add the template. Now I can reuse this. That makes sense to everybody, how easy that can be. Now we do have the advanced editor, but I'm going to dissuade you from doing this right away because I don't want you to get frustrated. And what I mean by that is, unless you know how to build emails, you're going to be like, what? You know, it's as easy as, okay, I'm going to put an image here, you drag it. I want to put a button here, you drag it. I want a divider here, you drag it. You know, it divides that. I want to put my socials right over here. I want to add a video. I want to put in some text right underneath this part. I mean, so you can do it quite that easy, but you got to put all the content in. You know what I mean? Templates, easy to build, reuse. Okay. I'm advising you to just start with the basic email editor. But if you want to get fancy, you certainly can. Like if I went back to email, for example, and I typed in the search bar holiday, look how many you have. Well, you do have to spell correctly, which I did not. You know, gosh, I'm over 98. Now, I've customized quite a few of these. But my point is they're super easy. And you can even schedule emails. Here's a pro tip that we're not going to get into because we're about to go to Playbooks. This is how easy it is to do. You can schedule an email to go out into the future using our scheduled mass email tool. That's right. So after maybe I build my own newsletter, of which we do have basic templates you can build on. And you want to send it out to your entire database. You can do that. You want to wish everybody happy 4th of July. You can do that. Okay, these are drag and drop. You put in your content. And in the marketing section, that's where we just were for Smart Campaigns. That's where those templates live, your drips. But in that same main dashboard, we have the scheduled mass email tool. You will have to enable this the first time if you've never used it. Just say you're using it for your business. You just got to fill this quick form. It'll literally take you 5 seconds. But then I can schedule this email to go out into the future. How about next November? How about next December? How about brand new year 2026? You can use any of those templates we built and pop them in here. If you just wanted to write it for you, you could copy that smart assistant, have it write, you know, an email for you, and just paste it in here. Save it. Done. I just created a template. That took me, what, 5 seconds. Those are templates, folks. My point, and really what I'm hoping you take away from this portion of our session, is engagement. That, okay, you got them in. Now what? Those were some now what scenarios. Okay, what do I say? What do I do? Get them to your website. That's absolutely your primary focus. Give them a reason to go there. Give them a reason to respond to you. Now we're going to Playbooks. Okay. Let's see. Do I have a slide on this one? Nope. We're just going to go live drive, folks. So, I mean, we already saw one, but if a couple ways I can find Playbooks. On the main dashboard, as we saw, in the center, when you first log in, well, what do you know? There's Playbooks. I can promote a new listing. We even have one built for your sphere of influence, your past clients, people you know, your friends and family, to keep top of mind. All the automation tools are there. You just got to connect them. But for your listing is what we're focusing on today. Okay, I'm showing you ways that you can drive people through social media to your website for lead capture or continuation of nurturing to get a conversation started. Up top, I could just type in Playbooks. Down here, it shows me any leads that might have Playbooks in it, as you'll see. But down below here it is, Playbooks. So far, so good. That was easy, right? Or you can just go to the more, or excuse me, the more, more down at the lower left, and then you'll find Playbooks there too. So quite a few ways you can get there. There's my sphere playbook. But we're going to focus on the promote a listing. Let's go ahead and open the playbook, see what's going on here. Now, if you have a listing, it will automatically populate over here on the left. Any place that I've run before will be over here on the right. and I could revisit. Maybe I need some stats or a quick link to share with someone. Now, again, if you don't have a listing, this will be blank. But if you get permission from the listing agent in your office, you could use this tool. Great way to drive people with the least amount of effort, with hopefully the most amount of result in getting some leads and conversations started, folks, getting them to your website. So let's say this one in 741 Marlin in Laguna is mine, or I have permission. I can start promoting it. We won't walk through everything because I already gave you kind of an overview. You know, I can notify the entire office if it was my listing, and we wrote an email for you. You know, I can reverse prospect my CRM if I was currently sending search alerts out to anybody in my database. Creates a text code for me automatically, which you can create on your own. This functionality is available in the system, no extra cost type of thing. You know, we have something, a concept in the BoldTrail platform called a smart number. You all share a smart number. You all have access to it. You don't have to pay for this. And we can use this number, all of us, to create our own unique smart code or text codes. And not just for listings. You can create them for anything. This is all included. This is how we can text and call from your laptop. You know, if I wanted to call you right now, that number is what your client would see. Not that cell phone, but that smart number I just showed you, that number that you all have. And you can see what yours is just by clicking in the upper right-hand corner, and your number will be listed right underneath your name. You don't call it, it calls you, and we use it to call out, and we use it to create text codes. That's how it works. So you don't call it, it calls you, or you use it to call out. But if I was to, you know, call someone right now, you would see that number. Now, the good news is, or bad news, or other news is, if you're using the mobile app, you can display your cell phone or the smart number. If you're calling from your laptop, it's going to be the smart number. It's that simple. If you're texting from your laptop, it's going to display that number. If you're texting from your mobile app, you can choose. It's that easy. So I just want you to be aware of that, because the number, you're going to see it come up. It's how it connects you to your leads, your contacts. It's a beautiful thing, the smart number. But anyway, back on the playbooks, we created a text code for you for this listing that I can immediately use on a sign rider. Text 741 Marlin to my smart number to get this listing on your phone, and you just captured their phone number and it got added to the platform. That's a playbook, play number 3. Then we have other ones. You can pay a few bucks with our property boost. If you want to, pay for some leads, $60. So usually get you about 10 to 12 leads. They start coming in within one day of starting it, typically. We create these lead generation strategies, I guess is how I'd put it. Squeeze pages, landing pages are the primary tools, in addition to text codes, that we use to promote your listings or lists of properties, it could be anything, to social media to drive them where? To your website. Remember my goal? Stop their search, get them to your website. And that's what we want to do, is get them to your website. These are tools we use to do that. Now, I'm not going to get into the specifics of what is the difference of a squeeze page and a landing page. We're rounding the corner here, folks, and I'll make sure all our QA is taken care of for any folks out there. But the point I want you to take away is these icons here literally are going to create an ad for me. It's going to ask me to log into my social. Look at that. It just created a clickable ad for me. I put in a call to action and post. How long did that take? They click. Where do they go? Well, they're going to go to that property on your website, and you just got lead capture. That's a squeeze page. How long did that take you? You just saw it. I just did as fast as it could be. And a landing page is, the destination's the same. The ad would look the same, but it's a little different strategy where we're asking you to put your email in first. And phone if you require it, to see the same property. So one, I give you a click. You know what I mean? You get to look around, you get to look at one, you click one more time, or you try to do any action, and it's going to prompt you to log in. Then you get lead capture. In either case, the ad's created for you a clickable ad. That's Playbooks, folks. You don't have to do anything. Well, you do. You have to put in a call to action, give them a reason to post or to click, Pretty awesome, isn't it? Playbooks. And we didn't even go through all of it. The rest of it is we do have an option that you would add your listing, your client to the platform, and then send them a weekly report of how many people have viewed their property. And if you've done all the stuff above, there's going to be some people that have viewed your property. So we write it for you. They get it automatic. Here's your house. There were 42 views. And then I'll have your info and your signature, but it's just a way to, look like a rock star. And then for any leads that you do capture along the way, you can just say, well, for any of those people, I want to go ahead and do the default buyer campaign. Start following up with them so I don't have to do it, kind of thing. That's Playbooks, folks. I'm going to call that a short wrap right here, and I'm going to check and see how we're doing on QA. Stand by 2 secs here. Okay. Hey, Delaney. Hopefully you're out there here and just checking to see. It looks like there's been a fire of questions. Hopefully you all, because I've seen, watching a few of the other CRMs of choice, I know you want some hands-on stuff. And it can be, you want to see, well, which one does this do and what will that do? Well, hopefully you've had an opportunity to start to see what makes the most sense for you. My purpose, my goal is to, keep your focus on not trying to learn everything, but get all your people in, reach out to all your people, follow up with all your people, and then ultimately generate new people. And that's an example of what we can do with that listings playbook. The Sphere playbook follows a similar kind of process and flow as we went through. It has predefined plays that you can just say, yeah, I want to use this one. I don't want to use that one this time or right now. You got templates already built. You have the Smart Assistant to help you write. Oh, I want to show you this too. If you're making a quick call, you can use that Smart Assistant to help you write a little script. So maybe you're like calling someone the first time and you just don't know exactly what to say. You could write that call script, do a welcome script, a check-in, a follow-up. You can write custom prompts, and it might help you, just give you a little more confidence on what the heck you're going to say. Yeah, Delaney, thanks for pointing that one out. I saw a question I just got shared with that someone said, I do not have share office. If it's not your listing, that's going to be the case. If it is your listing and you don't see it, then contact support. Okay. And I guess hopefully you'd see how that could make some sense in that we're saying with that Notify Office tool, if you read the new listing announcement, it's like, this is my listing. So I remember, as I mentioned, you can use this, but not this part, right? Because that's for the listing agent. But you could use the other stuff, the text code and the promote, on your Facebook and stuff. But this part's designed for a listing agent or an admin. Nothing should be broken. Now, if it is your listing, let's contact support and we'll get that sorted out, okay? Oh, you already did, Delaney. Of course, good. All right. Well, folks, let's see. We have something coming up, and bear with me here. I'll see if I can pull this up for you on Wednesday at the same time. This is our slot here for the BoldTrail. I believe it is a why choose. So this will be more focused, not hands-on, but focused on, well, why would I want to use, this over something else? Why would I care? And then we'll start doing some cadence of getting started. So more beginner, just get me started. And then this one, more advanced of, okay, I got my people in. I've downloaded the apps. I did my profile. Now what do I do? And that today was engagement strategies. So hopefully you found something helpful here to do a couple things. One, help you make a decision if you hadn't yet. And if you've been using the platform, to help focus your efforts to get some, get some transactions. That's what I'm talking about. So I think we're good. I'm seeing on the last minute questions. Hey, I know it's yet another survey. If you threw your phone up here and put on your camera app, you'll be driven to this QR code to say, you know, what you thought was good. I mean, heck, if we need improvement, we'll hear that too. And to thank you. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you all being here. I know you got a lot of choices out there. And hopefully you are going to make a decision that's going to be best for your business. I hope to see you along for the ride on BoldTrail. And we'll see you now